Once upon a time, a poor man lived in a village with his wife and children. He was a cobbler by profession. Then there came a time when he didn't have money to buy wheat. He told his wife that he wanted to migrate from this village to the city and try his luck there. His wife agreed, and the cobbler left for the city the next day. When he went to the market and began selling old shoes with the saying, "Repair and shine your old shoes like brand new shoes." The first day he found no work. The next day he started roaming the streets of the city to find new customers. While roaming, the cobbler heard a voice from behind. When he turned around, he saw an old woman standing with her old pair of shoes. She asked the cobbler to repair her shoe. When the job was done, the old woman asked him the price of his work. He said a gold coin will be okay for it. She paid and walked down the next street. Suddenly, another woman's voice came. The cobbler repaired the shoes and took the payment and went away. The cobbler worked hard and earned so much money in just a few days, after which he decided to go home. He bought a donkey, some food items from the city, and loaded items on his donkey. He started going towards his village. While passing through a forest, he saw a group of robbers coming towards him. The cobbler was very wise. He didn't panic and started making a plan in his mind. He tied a gold coin on the donkey's neck and started walking. The robbers stopped him and said, "Give us as much money as you have." The cobbler replied, "I am poor, I have nothing but this donkey." On hearing this, he saw the donkey and gold coin fell on the ground from its neck. Whereupon the leader of the robbers asked where this gold coin came from and started beating the cobbler. Finally, the cobbler replied and told them everything that he came up with in his mind. The cobbler said, "One gold coin fell out of the donkey's neck every day as a miracle." The leader said, "I will give you 50 gold coins in exchange for this donkey." The cobbler agreed and told them to keep the donkey in turn with each other. Otherwise, in the end, you will all be fighting among yourselves for money. The leader of the robbers nodded his head as he was agreed with the advice of cobbler. After cobbler took 50 gold coins from them, he left for his home. The cobbler bought a poultry farm with the money. On the other hand, the robbers had also reached their base. The leader said that I will keep this donkey on the first day. When he went home, he went to take a nap. After waking up, he looked around the donkey, but he didn't find any gold. One by one, all the robbers kept this donkey together, but no one found any gold coin. Now everyone was convinced that the cobbler had lied to them. They decided to go towards the cobbler's village so they can find them. When they reached there, they saw the cobbler working in the farms. On seeing this, he immediately ran towards his home and told his wife, "When any of the robbers reach home and ask for me, tell them that I am working in the farm. Then send our dog Tommy to call me." When the robbers arrived, his wife did the same. The cobbler was sitting behind the house waiting for Tommy. When he saw his dog, the cobbler quickly went to his house with Tommy. On seeing him, the leader of the robbers said, "You have deceived us. This donkey didn't give any gold coins." The cobbler said, "Whatever I have today has been given to me by this donkey." The leader thought for a moment, and as he was impressed by the obedience of the dog, he asked the cobbler to give him his dog. On this, the cobbler refused for some time, but when 40 gold coins were offered, he accepted and gave them the dog. When the dog was brought, the robbers' leader said to his wife, "I am going out. When someone comes for me, send Tommy to call me." But when his wife sent the dog to call him, dog didn't reach and he went to his master's house. One by one, the dog left with all the robbers, but still he went to his old master, the cobbler. Seeing this, they were all convinced that cobbler had deceived us again. They all reached the cobbler's house and, ignoring his false arguments, tied him up in a sack to teach him a lesson, and took him away with the plan to throw the sack into the river. On the way, the robbers rested for a while and they left the sack near a tree. The cobbler raised a cry. Suddenly, there was a man grazing his goats. Passed by the cobbler and asked cobbler, "What are you doing here?" The cobbler said, "Get me out of here. I don't want to be a king." The shepherd said, "If I were you, I would have become the king." He said, "You can become the king in my place if you took me out of here." After coming out, cobbler immediately put shepherd in the sack for his place and took his goats to graze them. When the robbers wake up, they took the sack and after throwing it into the river, they went to the other side. On the way, when they met the cobbler, they became very surprised. The cobbler said, "There is a gold mine down that river. There is a lot of gold and the goalkeeper there took me out." The leader of the robbers said, "Take us there too, and beware, don't try to fool us this time." He took them to the bank of the river. The cobbler said, "If you want gold, then you have to keep yourself in a sack, so the goalkeeper can come to release you for giving gold." All the robbers tied themselves in a sack and the cobbler threw them all into the river. From this story, we get a lesson that we shouldn't believe anyone's word without thinking. First of all, we should examine the other person's words and think if someone is giving us advice or making us fool. Or else, if anyone believes without thinking like the robbers, then his fate will become the same as the robbers.